Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Stamping A to Z. I'm Linda Gibbs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada. Let me know if you're watching, where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. I am trying out my microphone again. So hopefully, actually, you know what? I'm gonna just pull it up here, make sure there's some volume happening. And I want to make sure it's not cutting in and out. Trying out my microphone. Sounds like there's volume. So we're good there. Perfect. All right. Oops, it's not giving me the comment part. No, I don't want that. Hang on. Okay, well, I'll fix that in a second. Anyways, welcome. If you're new here, this is my weekly live that I do, Stamping A to Z, all things stamping from A to Z. And today I'm showcasing, prepping a bunch of sentiments ahead of time, so you have sentiments that you can plop onto any card. It's using the more messages bundle, which is one of the bundles from the online exclusives that will be released coming in May, and May is right around the corner. So it'll be available right away. And Stampin' Up! Just announced that for 2 days only, they are going to be doing double rewards. So May 2nd and 3rd. May 3rd is National Scrapbooking Day. So I think it's kind of in that, because of that, as a celebration. Unfortunately, the new products are not available till May 6th, but all the last chance items are available and you get double rewards. So if there's still stuff on your list from the last chance items, those will be good days to take advantage of that. They're also, for the month of May, starting May 6th, we have a starter kit special. It's a really good deal. So normally the starter kit is $135 Canadian, and you would pick $165 worth of product. If you're in Alberta, there's no shipping and no GST. If you're in another province, you will pay the added tax, but no shipping and no GST. So if you're in Alberta, there's no tax, no shipping, and it's $135. And so the deal for May is that you get $220 worth of product instead of $165. So that's actually $55 extra worth of products that you can get your hands on. So it's a really good deal. So that's for the month of May. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's flip you around and let's get started as I put my hand in. Uh-oh. I think I put my camera the wrong way. 1 second. I don't know if I'm going to be able to flip this. Oh no. I'm such a dodo. How can I do this? Let me see. I'm going to rotate you. Try not to make you sick. And I'm guessing it'll be upside down. It's not going to... You can't turn your phone while recording. Yeah, I figured. This is going to be a problem. No, it won't. Okay. Hold on a sec. I need to switch my... Here, I'm going to switch you back. And I'm going to do a little bit of flip-flopping on my camera holder, because it has to be like so in order to get what we want. Okay, let's see. And then we'll flip. All right, and then I won't be able to zoom. Maybe Maybe I can try if I can touch the screen in the right place. Come on. Oh, there we go. Not that much. Well, that's good enough. Okay, now now I need to find my video again so I can see comments. Oy vey's. It's always fun times here. Okay, there we go. Now I've got comments, got the video. It seems to be, is it frozen? Hopefully it's not frozen. I see my thumb moving, so obviously I'm not frozen. All right, this is the More Messages bundle that's in the online exclusives that will be available starting May 6th. So basically it is one solid stamp. It's a red rubber stamp. So you can stamp them all at once, and then you can cut them out all at once. So it makes for very quick and easy sentiments. And I know some people are tempted and do, which makes me, it would scare the crap out of me, but some people actually cut these apart so they have them separate. I don't think that's really, you're kind of losing the purpose of this, but each to their own. I wanted to show you how easy it is to prep a bunch of, so I'm just looking for my papers that I had out ready to, oh, here we go, ready to go. So what I did realize doing this is you cannot use, well you can, but it's very tight and you end up losing the oval for the Forever Friends if you use a quarter of a paper that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is your quarter of paper. So you want it just slightly larger if you want to have the full die be able to cut your paper. So basically, I can't remember, I think I went to 6, yeah. So you want 6 by 4 1/2 to be able to fit the dies and sentiments and everything just so. So it will be tight, so I'm going to make sure let's see, what's the best way to do this? Go down. Okay. Good part right in there. Should be about there, and then I have the room there. So say that looks like it should be good. Okay, so we're all lined up. I'm going to mark, because I'm going to do multiple pieces. I'm going to mark my corner because it's not in a, within the, oh, this marker's not, it's not marking. Let's see. Okay. And then that way I'll know where to put the next one, assuming that this works. All right. So all you have to do, I have taken 3 pieces of basic white and 1 piece of basic black, and I'm going to stamp them. And so with the black, I'm going to emboss with white powder. The whites I'm going to stamp with black ink, and then I'm going to use gold and silver embossing powder. If you wanted copper, you could do copper as well. You know, sky's the limits. You could do colors, you can do, but the one thing I was going to say is if you have black and white, then you can always blender brush or color in the white background and have the black sentiment if you want to match a color that you're working on. So that's just another way of stretching your sentiments. And I'm using, you could use your Stamparatus if you have one from back when we had them. We don't anymore. So this is the Misty, which you can pick up, I think, on Amazon and other places. Any kind of stamp positioning tool helps, because then it allows you to stamp multiple times and make sure it's very well inked. Because you want, you know, if you're making these sentiments ahead, you want them to be nice and crisp and clear. So I like to be able to ink them several times before actually trying to put the powder on. So got this. And we'll just go round and round till we've got it all. I always have cream on my hands. My hands are always dry, so I find I'm worse than most. And if wherever I touch my paper, I'm gonna get powder stuck. I should learn to not put cream on right before live, especially if I'm using powder. I'm just gonna put a bit more here and there. I'll go this way so it gets a bit extra on it. Okay. I don't know why it's so, looks like maybe I just re-inked my Versamark, so maybe it's more inky, and so kind of splooshed a little bit, it looks like, or I didn't use enough anti-static powder. Like this best looks like it's got some extra, but it's mostly good. The birthday is missing. I must not have. This is what happens when you go live. I'm gonna use my tool so I don't have to burn my fingers. I heat up my heat tool. And I have to go back and look how to turn on the noise canceling on this microphone, because I went to turn it on and I was like, oh, I need to turn on noise canceling because this is probably really loud right now compared to when I use my phone, which kind of automatically takes out the background noise. So I apologize if this is really annoyingly loud and you can't hear me. If you're watching the live, say hi. I'd love to hear from you. If you're watching the replay, let me know that you're watching, but just put replay next to it so I know you're watching the replay. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Say hi. Love to hear from you. If you have questions, comments, feel free to leave them even though it's a replay. Okay, so I'm not gonna stamp, maybe I'll do the black and white one. I'm not gonna stamp them and heat them all because you'll be bored, because I have some really fun cards to put with these, which is the fun part of this. I think for most. I don't think the fun part is watching me stamp a bunch of sentiments, but you never know. Maybe it's interesting and fun. So here I'm just using my Memento. And again, this is where I really like to make sure I have well inked, because with the black, now I should take out this grip mat because it squishes much harder here than it does here. So I'm going to put most of my weight here because it's already pushing quite a bit there because it's raised. Apparently I could push a little bit more. All right, and then I'm gonna ink it up again so we get a nice crisp black. Sentiments. Now it's almost too much. See, and I'm getting it there. I should have cleaned it from the Versamark. I must have gooey Versamark going on, and now I've got pieces of my black pad falling apart here. Crazy. Yeah, I think so. I do have the other side of my paper. I'm gonna clean this and then I'll restamp it after, because I feel like something's not right, because I'll show you the one I did yesterday and it's stamped perfectly. So I know it's not the stamp. I think I just have something on there. So let me set this aside. I will cut this out so you can see one being cut out. Let's go like so. I wonder if I can I make this zoom out? Oops, that's in. There. All right. So we've got our plates, and then we just want to stick this down, line it up. I have just a small piece of tape so that it doesn't move away on me. And try and just get them so they're all centered. When you're happy with how it looks, just put that, and then I'll put the plate down, and off we go. Okay. Now I can try and zoom back in a little bit. And then we've got all our sentiments cut out for us. You can just pop them all out. Those two are stuck to the tape. And then you can just toss that so you have all your sentiments. So you can see if you do stamp them all and then cut them all, you've got a whole lot of sentiments. And then you could put them in a clear envelope, or I've put them here inside of a empty case. So I've got the gold, and I've got silver, and I've got the black and white. And then you can see, so I was using a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 paper, and it cut off the Forever Friends. But when I use the 6 inch by 4 1/2, then I get the full cutout. That was the only one, and sometimes this one would get or whichever one of these ones would get cut off. So if you use the 6 by 4 1/2 versus 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, you will get them all cut out properly without losing anything. So now that we have all of our sentiments, okay, I just move this all away. All right, Now we can have fun making some cards to then use our sentiments. Hi, Yolande. Let me know. I'm using my mic, and I don't think it's been cutting in and out this time. I don't think. It hasn't been saying that it is. We'll see. All right, so my first card is, I can find only pieces and parts here. Okay, where's my, there you go. Like, I know I have everything cut out. Okay, I've got my grip mat, I've got some stencils, my paper, and for this one, I'm going to use a stamp and some inks. All right. So many pieces and parts. So I'm going to use the Gallery Blooms, which I love this floral stamp. And then I'm using the Elements of Text to add some text. And I've pre-cut, so I cut out the postage die onto a piece of Yupo paper because I knew I wanted to reuse it. You can use just a regular piece of paper. I then cut out a frame that is, well, I'll show these ones as I go. Those are the next cards. So for now, I've got, this is an old stencil. I don't know how old. I just found it in my stash of stuff. Actually, yeah, for this one, I'll just use this. Okay. So we got our sticky mat, we've got our piece of paper, and then I'm going to start by stenciling with my postage. Now I'm just going to hold this up to the light so I can center. Actually, before I put it out, I will line this up in the, using the light, just holding it up to the window. Trying to center it. If you don't want to have to center it, you can cut it, like cut your paper larger. I think I actually cut this larger and then cut it down if it's all wonky. So I'm going to say that's about even. And then I'm going to take some lemon lolly. Just going to come in and stencil. So I thought with the sentiments, I don't know why, I just felt like having simple in that they're not dimensional. They're not, they're flat, two-dimensional cards. So nothing's popped up. The sentiments aren't even popped up. I'm not worried about the unevenness here because it's going to be under another color. This is just kind of my base color right now. And I just want a little bit of yellow. I don't want a ton. Then I'm going to take the stencil, which just happens to be slightly bigger than my other stencil. So I'm able to stick it down, which I was happy about. I don't have to start taping it all down. And then I'm going to take my pool party here. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. I just saw the dog take off. Okay, it's the downfall to watching out front. Huh. Yes, my mic is attached to me. I wonder if it's whether I'm towards it. I do have it lower down on my shirt. Huh. Because I was moving around, but it should have followed me unless it's not using the mic and it's just using my phone. That would be interesting. I forgot to wipe the yellow off the stencil. That's the one downfall to using the Yupo paper, because it's washable. The ink sits on top of it, so when you go to put another ink down, sometimes you're picking it up with your brush. Luckily, it's a lighter, the yellow is lighter, so it shouldn't, if you're worried about contaminating your inks, just put your ink onto the glass mat or a glass block or whatever you may have, and then you don't have to worry about that. And I'm just gonna see, I left the postage template stencil there, cut out, however you want to say it, the negative. And I added this top stencil. This would probably be faster using a jelly plate, just inking it up and picking it up instead of blending it all the time. Okay, here, let's do a test. Okay, so I'm talking into the mic. My mouth is towards the mic. Now, if I look away and start talking, does my voice get softer? Let me know. Because I'm curious if it's actually, I mean, the lights are all on, so I'm pretty sure it's using the mic. But that's weird that it gets, maybe I just have it down too low. Okay, so then when you're happy with the amount of color that you have on there, we get to do our ta-das. And I'm gonna take this one off, but I'm gonna keep this one on. And I'm gonna take my stamp that was from the Elements of Text, and I'm going to ink that up with Basic Beige, so just a light walk away and try. Okay, I'll stamp this and then I'll walk away to get my next thing. Make sure you ink it up real well, because you only get one kick at this unless you're using a stamp positioning tool. And I'm going to stamp it right in the center. And voila. Okay, I'm gonna walk away. Let me know if it gets softer and softer. I'm walking away. I'm on the other side of the room. I'm coming back. Coming back, and I'm back. Did that get softer and then louder? Okay, so then I'm gonna get to do the reveal. We take the postage note off. Ta-da! So the one thing I found is with having this, using this pattern of stencil, it kind of loses the postage. It's harder to see the postage shape. Sounded great. Okay, well maybe it's my jacket. My jacket's loose and it's moving around, so maybe I just need to put it in a better spot. Or maybe I was just drifting away, not speaking loud enough. So then I'm going to use my stamp positioning tool. I'm pretty sure. I thought I had it. Out. I thought I already had this on. Oh, I didn't because it was on here. Okay, I'll just put it on a block. I don't know. This one I think I want. I'm waffling here. All right, I'm going to take my stuff out of here and we'll Okay. Put that on there, and then I'm gonna line, I want this kind of off to the side, even a little bit off of the colored part. And then, let's see, did I move it? And then we're gonna go in with the memento again. And this one is fine because it's the photopolymer on photopolymer, so having the grip mat there is fine. It looks pretty darn good. Maybe a little light on that flower. Other than that, it's a pretty solid looking stamp. So then I've got that, and obviously I want to cut around it. It's a little bit off, twisted off there. So I will cut it down, and then we will take our sentiments out. And so in my original, which I'll pull out here, I used the white and black, but then I got thinking maybe the black and white would look good also. So I'm thinking also, and I glued it straight down. No dimension. Just a nice, simple, pretty card. Isn't that pretty? And then I'll cut that down just like this one to have an even border and mount it on a white cardstock. Okay, next one. I can put this away. And I don't need that. I just want to move this inked stamp so it doesn't get onto a piece of paper and make a mess. Okay, we'll move the stencil. Now we need, what's our next one? We need the frame stencil that I had. And this one comes from the Gallery Blooms bundle. Suite, I should say. It is a whole suite. So it has these two. So this is the frame that one is. And then it has this and another stamp set, which I don't have out. It is in the new annual catalog, so it will be out starting early May. May 6th, I believe. And let's see, I need, where did I put, I'm losing everything. Okay, so we'll have the grip mat again, and we'll have another piece of paper. So now you can see this is actually smaller, and I do have, if I want to cover the paper completely, I can by adding the outside piece and then having this on the inside and sticking it together, so then it's more covered. But I just want to cut, like I want this as the white space, so I'm not too worried about that. Hang on, my chair is rolling away from me. Okay, so once again, I feel like this is complicating matters. I'm just going to use the frame, and then that way I can see where I'm putting it on my paper. And I do need to use the tape to tape it down because it's smaller. It's not hitting the grip mat, which is fine. And then I'm just going to use this beautiful new Secret Sea, which I absolutely love. And I don't know if you'd heard, so I have 4 of the colors in the inks. The 5th color, which is called Cloud Cover, it's a beautiful kind of bluey gray. It's just a beautiful soft color. They were having troubles with the color, and so they pulled it. We weren't able to pre-order it. I just was reading that they are going to, it was a happy accident in that the color it was producing was not the matching color, but it's a really nice color, so they're going to allow us to purchase it as demonstrators. And I think it said the smaller stamping spots will be available to customers. The bigger ones might be available to customers if supplies permitted, I think, but it's not, I don't know if it's not going to be called the same color or what. It's kind of like the year we had purple, I think it was Purple Posy, where they took out the ink pad, like we had all the markers and everything else, but for some reason the chemicals were not playing nice on the ink pad. But so hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on the cloud cover because it's a really pretty. Actually, I was playing with the cardstock for it and wishing I had the ink for my May club cards. All right. Oh, I hate that one. I keep the stickers, and then if I stick it on here, it all comes, it pulls everything off. So we will just put that back here. We don't need this. We can throw that away. Okay. Then I'm going to leave this on because then I'm going to stamp a background. So I'm taking the, what's this called? I believe it's in the on, now I'm second guessing myself. I was thinking online exclusives, but it might be in the mini catalog. Either way, it's the Painted Stripes background stamp. It is current. It might be, I don't know if it's in the last chance. I don't know now. I don't think so. I don't remember seeing it in the last chance stuff. And so if it is an online exclusive, it's just, it's still there. Still available. So hard to keep track, especially as we get more and more. They keep releasing more and more products with all this online exclusives and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna put that down and I'm gonna, this is where using a Stamparatus or a stamp positioning tool would help because it's so large and hard to push, but I'm gonna get what I get. And since it's uneven anyways, it's not the end of the world if it missed, but it did pretty darn good. And then I have to be careful because I'm going to get ink all over my hands, and then I'll get it all over that clean. Isn't that pretty with the clean white around it? You could use masking paper and cut some strips. Oh, I got some blue there. Which might be the easier way than this. I was just trying to get that nice frame look. So that's why I did it that way. Anyways, and then I'm going to, where did my, I'm going to stamp my flower onto here. And the best way to get your paper off of these things is to bend it away from the paper. Otherwise the paper gets all curled. So it's a good way to not curl your paper. And then I'm going to take this and I want to clean off my stamp because it still has the black on it from my last card. And then we're going to use Versamark this time, and I want it more centered, so I'm just going to see where this needs to go. That looks pretty good. So I'm just going to push that down, and then we will ink this up with Versamark, hopefully. Maybe I probably have too much Versamark, so maybe I shouldn't be so heavy with it. I'm going to try and pick some up here and not push down. Oh, I forgot to put this anti-static. Oy vey's. I meant to. Okay, I'm going to do another light dusting. I'm just kind of rubbing it so it sticks, but hopefully picks up any excess gunkies. Okay, so my plan is to put white powder, but I'm worried it's gonna stick. Ugh. Always with the video, I forget the tool. I don't know why. Too focused on what's next. All right. So let's try this out. Hopefully the ink isn't too wet and sticks to everything. Guess we'll find out. Oh yes, it's gonna stick to the stripes. So you want to make sure your ink is dry and you use your anti-static tool. Otherwise, you will end up like, see how it's sticking to the stripe? That is not a nice look. So I can work at it and take it off with a brush, but that's, you really don't want to have to go through that. So make sure you use your anti-static powder, dry your, anyways, I'm gonna set this aside and I'll show you the finished one since I messed that one up real good. So 2 for 2. So cut it so that it has the nice white border. You can see I have a little bit of blue there anyways, and then I added the hello from the sentiments. But it's like just a simple flat card with using the sentiments. Isn't that, but the flower just makes it, like this flower is so pretty. Anyways, I think it's a peony. I don't know, to me it looks like a peony. I don't really know my flowers. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. We'll just put that on top of my embossed paper. Then we've got another piece of paper. We need our grip mat. And our paper. Oh, I bet you this is some blue. Let me, when I stamped it up past the edge. So I'm just cleaning it with a baby wipe, making sure that that's clean. And it looks like I've got a mark on my paper on this side, so hopefully this side is clean. We'll use this side. And then we've got, I cut out an, oh, actually, I want to center it. The oval is from the, it's a suite from the online exclusives. It is the Impressions of Bloom. And it's the oval from there. I used it last week, maybe the week before. These are the dies, lots of flowers. It's a beautiful set. So I just cut out the oval with this oval, and then this one makes a frame around the oval. So I just used the one oval, and then we're gonna do some blending again. I'm gonna wipe this glue off since I don't want that. And we will have some yellow. Where did my yellow go? Here it is. So I'm using the same yellow, the Lemon Lolly. And you want to go about a third of the way down. I'm using 3 colors. And then some, because you want it to blend in with your next color. And yellow is my lightest, so I'm not too worried if I go past that point. Then I've got Pretty in Pink. All right, see you later, Yolande. I think I'll be able to watch your live today. Okay. Then I've got my Pretty in Pink. And I've got the aspen snoring in the background. And you see how this is kind of got the brush marks. I'm kind of going hard and fast. It does smooth out as it dries, so don't be too fussed about that. Like, I'll show you once you see my original one, you'll see how smooth it looks, and it wasn't that smooth to begin with. So then I've got Melon Mambo, which is the nice dark, bright, not dark, bright, bold pink. So again, I've got that mark there. I just want a bit more of the Pretty in Pink. I feel like it got the short end of the stick. I'll just kind of blend the two together. There we go. And then we get to do, I love using stencils and masks because it's that ta-da when you pull it off and you've got that shape and the nice color. I love it. See? Ta-da! Isn't that a nice? I love the shape of this oval. I wish they would have a oval, like not stacking ovals. You know, like they have the rectangles. I wish they had a set of ovals. Anyways, so that's the background. And then I cut out a flower from that same, I think it was the gallery one that had the frame from the last card. So it matches with the floral I've been using. But instead of stamping a floral, I'm just using a white die cut instead. And I added an adhesive sheet to this because it's so delicate. Let's see. Oh, it's not sticking well because the ink is still wet. That's one thing. Gotta let my ink dry. And then once again, you just have to find a sentiment to go with. If I can find, oh, I know why my voice was trailing, because when I turn my head to look, I'm turning way away from. I can't. Oh, here they are. I can't find my sentiments. I have a whole box of them, but I can't find them. Okay, so there's time to celebrate. You could use, I think gold. You could probably use, if you wanted it to, if you wanted the sentiment to really pop. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty too. Okay, here, I'll show you one with the, oops. So my original one, I had just had white with gold. And then this is with the black. Let me know which one you prefer. This one really, I feel like it pops and I like it, but it takes away from everything else. You just see the sentiment. But let me know what you think. I like to know what your preference is. All right, so those are my cards for this week. And hopefully, we have had bundles like this in the past where it cuts out all the sentiments and is one stamp. I feel like these ones are bigger than the ones we've had in the past. But either way, if you have the old ones or if you're getting the new one, take the time. I feel like you'll use them way more if you take the time to make a bunch of sentiments and have them ready to go. And that way, if you just need to put a quick card together, you can just, you have your sentiment already ready to go and you don't have to worry about that part. So it's really handy to have. So our 3 cards, again, are these with the beautiful, my favorite flower. Yeah, so if you give it a go, or if you have other ideas for templates for masking and stencils, post it and tag me or post it in the comments. I'd love to see your projects. All right, hopefully you have a great rest of your week and we will see you next Wednesday. Bye.